Chair and members, um, we have one of the most robust data management and data control laws anywhere in the world. And if anybody doubted uh, the modernity and the sophistication of our legal regime, they will see how, for example, we reacted to the WorldCoin matter, and therefore what we need to do besides the proposed adjustments of the existing law is actually to enforce the existing law. If it is well enforced, we have a very robust legal system. And therefore, the current law, which is the Data Protection Act of 2019, as supplemented by the data protection regulations, require data controllers and data processors, including now TikTok, because TikTok falls in the category of data controllers and data processors. They are required under the laws of our country to comply with various compliance obligations under the Data Protection Act and the Data Protection Regulations. The compliance requirements include implementing data protection deliberately. And this includes implementing the data protection principles in an effective manner, integrating and implementing appropriate technical and organizational measures to protect personal data and register, and they are also required to register as data controllers or data processors with the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. We as government also, through the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, have contacted TikTok. The government of Kenya is in contact with TikTok, and we have raised concerns relating to the way TikTok is processing their data related activities. In particular, the government of Kenya has requested from the owners and operators of TikTok to provide to us the levels of compliance with our laws, namely the Data Protection Act and the Data Protection Regulations. We have also asked them to explain to us the measures that they are taking or they intend to take to ensure the privacy of individuals is respected in accordance with the laws of our country. At the moment, we are not satisfied that there is compliance. We are waiting for the explanation from TikTok. We as government have also requested or required TikTok to demonstrate to us their compliance with the requirements of all the laws of Kenya relating to data protection. We have also required them to provide details of the effectiveness of age and verification and content filtering processes. If at all they have any age verification and content filtering procedures as they run that platform. We have also asked them, Chair and members, to tell us what they are doing to implement Kenya-specific supplemental terms in the privacy policy, considering the provisions of our laws. In other words, we have asked them how they are customizing their data processing in the TikTok platform to comply with the law of our country. The government has also required TikTok to demonstrate full compliance, and it's only after that demonstration that we'll also require them to register with the Office of Data Commissioner of the Republic of Kenya as data controllers and data processors going forward. Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. We will be wanting to engage with our counterparts in the National Treasury to help us do an assessment. I don't think what we have are individual cases which are reported of how content creators are making this amount of money per day, per week, per month. But I think we need to have a multi-agency assessment, because it's important not just to get the facts right, but so that it will inform the balances that we need to strike. Because if something is of significant economic value, then you need to see how, instead of saying total ban, you can have a limited control and make sure you seal the loopholes where the disadvantages and the risks are coming through, to make sure that you don't kill an industry. In any case, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, it is our view that the place of social media, the internet, the artificial intelligence and big data has reached an irreversible stage in the world. So we should also ask ourselves whether we want to shut ourselves out from the fourth industrial revolution completely, or how do we manage it so that it doesn't destroy our country? But the point where we are in the world today is that the drivers of the fourth industrial revolution are irreversible, not for Kenya, for the whole world. Mr. Chairman and members, despite these immense opportunities in business, commerce, economics, communications, connectivity, and efficiency in the way we do things, the social media space, including TikTok, presents grave dangers to the world and to our society today. No part of the world is immune from the risks that this space and this platform poses to our way of life, to the social fabric, and even to public safety and security of the people of the world. Honorable Chair, this platform, including all the social media platforms, including TikTok, now have become a possible and real, not really a possible, but a real theater for misuse by criminals to endanger public safety and security. TikTok and other social media platforms are increasingly being used to spread malicious content, which is illegal, unlawful, and a violation of fundamental rights and freedoms. Chair and members, TikTok and other social media platforms are increasingly being used to also generate propaganda, including propaganda for war. Terrorist groups, including the famous ones in our corner, Al-Shabaab and others, are using social media platforms, including TikTok, to generate propaganda for war, and also to generate the propaganda to advance the ideology of terror and so forth and so on, including real or even concocted terrorist activities that are posted on these platforms to spread fear to communities, to populations about the invincibility of the terrorist organizations. And it's happening across the world. A major platform for propaganda for war, but also malicious and unlawful content in this space. Chair, this space is also being used to steal, hijack, and control popular accounts. If a person is a popular account holder of a TikTok account, they risk hijack, control, and hacking of their accounts. And this has presented security managers around the world with tremendous law enforcement challenges. The stealing of personal accounts, hijacking them. Some even ask for ransom as a way of releasing their accounts back to their owners. This hijacking and stealing of accounts also has embarrassed public officials, celebrities, high-profile individuals, including business people and high net worth individuals. This space of social media, including the TikTok space, is also being used to dupe the people of Kenya and the people of the world into fake and unlawful commercial transactions, including luring the people of Kenya and the people of the world to fake foreign exchange trade business opportunities, fake job recruitment programs that end up conning members of the public in Kenya and across the world. The biggest challenge, however, is on the violation of the privacy and dignity of the people of Kenya through the use of this space to generate offensive sexual content, including spreading pornographic material and also exposing children to pornographic content and unlawful, inappropriate sexual content. This TikTok space and other social media spaces and platforms have been used to post intimate images, especially through the live feature. The live feature of TikTok is being used as a platform of circulating offensive, intimate images, some of it maliciously posted there, some of it deliberately posted there, and this has exposed especially our children into early exposure to destructive content in the pornographic and sexual space. These risks, as I have enumerated them, Chair and members, pose severe distress in our society. The risks pose severe social distress to users of TikTok. It also exposes minors to inappropriate content and also promotes social discord for the reasons which I have explained. What these social media platforms have done and avenues of communicating is that they have dissolved the traditional way of communication And that's why around the world, print media, electronic media is in severe distress, commercially speaking, because the social media platforms have hived off a huge portion of the space that was being utilized by print media, that is newspapers, and communication through electronic media, television, and a bit of radio. And many media houses are trying to interface the way they've been communicating now and bringing in digital and media products. Otherwise, in a short while, that space will not be available. And the earlier those who are in that industry realize that reality, the better. I don't see the newspaper space, the television space as an avenue of public communications having a very long future in the world. So our traditional way of communications has changed. Before people read a newspaper, because today's proceedings of your committee chair will be reported in our newspapers tomorrow, ordinarily, traditionally. But what the newspapers have done now is to try and have something in the middle. They have online stories which they can file later today. But even before they do that story, these proceedings, possibly somebody is watching it live as it happens on social media. So there is that reality that the social media platforms, including the content on TikTok, will take away the space or that has been occupied by traditional methods and platforms of communication. Honorable Chair, the platforms that are taking this space is TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and another one called Signal, among others. Kenyans have embraced, keeping in touch, sharing information, and even planning their events through social media. Organizations also are using social media, all these platforms, to market their brands and also to communicate to their customers and clientele. Social programs like social events, funerals, weddings, and so forth are also taking place in this space. However, Chair, the huge, and perhaps before I go to the however bit, it is also important to just also say from where we stand, the commercial and economic value presented by social media platforms, including TikTok, is immeasurable. It is huge, expansive, and transformative. I will not belabor the committee because they, as honorable members, know that there are people making a huge fortune through the content that they create and control on social media platforms, including TikTok. Huge amounts of money, which the finest architects, engineers, lawyers, doctors will never make that amount of money. Content creation and content control on social media platforms, including TikToks. So we are looking at an emerging economic sector, which both the technology around it and the business, commercial, and economic potential it is creating will underpin the fourth industrial revolution and the future of the economics of the world. And that is the reality. However, Mr. Chairman and members,